Welcome back everyone to your Ashtanga style flow today. For your practice, if you'd like to have a couple of blocks underneath your hands for triangle or some of the standing forms, you can grab them, and have a cushion or a blanket if you'd like that for underneath your seat in some of the seated forward folds. We'll do a little mixture of the primary and the second series today, and you can meet me in a child's form on your mat. Walk your hands forwards, let your hips sink towards your heels, and perhaps your head falls to the floor where your forehead can connect. Take a moment, you might close your eyes. Arrive here, connected to earth. You might bring some attention to your breath, and there might be an opportunity to slow your breath down. Just a note today that I will cue the breath, so I will be cueing inhale, exhale movements, but if you need to breathe in a different way, then be reminded that this is your practice. You can add things in, you can take them away. Anything that you'd like to surrender here as you catch pace with the natural world. You can shift forwards, place your hands in a downward dog, take your toes, tuck them, and shift your hips back into your downward facing dog for your breath in and your breath out. You can step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Lengthen there on your inhale and forward fold. Press your outer heels to the earth, come all the way up. Reach and release your hands to mountain. Then your next inhale, reach up. Sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step back, or you might hop to plank, firm legs, maybe your knees down, chaturanga, wide collarbones. Toes pointed, upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. I'll count to 5, but you're welcome to breathe a lot slower than me. 1, 2, 3, 4. You might press into the inner part of your hand and reach the inner part of your arm long. On 5, exhale, bend your knees, and you can step or hop your feet. Top of the mat, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up and reach. Exhale to your mountain. Arms up, inhale. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back as you exhale through plank to chaturanga. Strong legs. Push your toes back, upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. 1. 2, if your armpits are sagging, try to lift them a little and pull your ribs towards your hips. 3. 4, 5, bend your knees, step or hop top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. All the way up, inhale. Release your arms. Last one like this, inhale up. Forward fold. Ride the wave of your breath to halfway lift Empty out through to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Strong legs, strong abdomen. Find the hammock of upward dog and tuck your chin, ripple back to downward facing dog for 1. Your breath rhythm for 2. Even weight through the knuckles of your fingers for 3. Think center of your knee a little forwards, sit bone a little back. 4. 5, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat, halfway lift. Tip your pelvis forward, forward, fold. All the way up to stand. Hands by your sides. Bend your knees, chair form, even weight in your toes and your heels. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra or up dog, long low back. Tuck your chin, ripple back, downward dog. Right foot forwards, back foot on an angle. Warrior 1. Press into your back heel. All the way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Buoyant low back, ribs. Long low back, upward dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forwards, back foot on an angle. Warrior 1. Exhale your breath out. Strong legs, push back through your heels, forward through your head, Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog for 1. For 2, lengthening your side body. Softening your eyes for 3. For 5, bending your knees, step or hop, top of your mat. Lengthen and fold. Utkatasana, even weight in your toes and your heels. Chair form, push to stand. Inhale to chair, Utkatasana. Exhale your forward fold. Find your length, find your rhythm. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing, hips don't go too low there. Pick up your hips for downward dog. Right foot forwards, back foot on an angle, warrior 1. Breathe it in, empty it out, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left foot forwards, right foot on an angle, warrior 1. All the way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Up you go, upward dog. And tuck your chin, ripple back, downward facing dog. 1. 2. 3. 4, gently pressing your sit bones up and back. Your heels heavy. 5, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. And forward fold. Chair form. And press to stand, last one like that, chair. Forward fold. Lengthen your flow. Upward facing. Downward facing, right foot forwards. Up you come. Press your back foot long, left hip flexor takes you all the way down. Up you come. Ripple back. Left foot forwards, back foot on an angle, right hip flexor reaches for the sky, all the way down. Through your upward dog, through your downward facing dog. 1. Settle there. 2, know that you can always take rest and find a child's form or find a shape that allows you to find some respite if your heart rate's pumping a lot for 4. 5, bend your knees, step or hop. Lengthen and fold. Chair form to come up. Press to stand. Hip distance with your feet. Hold your hips, lift your chest, forward fold over your legs. Take a forward fold that works, or grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Lift up and fold forwards for 1. Elbows wide. For 2, you might shift the weight into your toes and then re-ground the center of your heel. For 4. 4, 5. Halfway lift. You can take another forward fold that works, or perhaps you take your hands under your feet, Padahastasana, lengthen again your spine. And forward fold, wide elbows for 2. For 3, you might widen your sitting bones and tip your pelvis forwards for 4. 5, halfway lift. Hands to your waist here, little squeeze of your shoulder blades. Come all the way up, feet together in mountain. You could take a block with you to step out to the right. Turn your feet for triangle form. Your block might come to the outside of your right foot, and lift your left arm up into triangle. Back foot could be a little angled in, toes in towards your head, and right toes point directly away. Think hips back, head forwards, and center your bottom shoulder. Look down, press into your back foot to come up. Turn all the way around to your front foot. You can take your block with you for triangle on the left side. Right arm up. Let your breath make big brush strokes of length along your spine. Center your bottom shoulder, maybe look up. Come all the way up. You can take your block with you. Turn your feet all the way to the back of the mat so you're in more of a pyramid shape. Back foot turns in. Block can go under your nose or to the outside of your foot, or you could take the block out and start to turn. Aim your hips back and steer your hips so that your right sit bone pulls back into its socket. You can take your right arm up here, maybe look up for revolve triangle. Try to push down in your bottom hand so your bottom collarbone spreads. Take your right arm down, look down, windmill all the way up through center. Turn yourself all the way around to the front. Take your block under your nose or to the outside of your foot. Hips start to steer so that your left hip pulls back into the socket, and you might take your left arm up and push down into your bottom hand to broaden your bottom right collarbone. Empty your breath, empty your abdomen. Left hand comes down. Come all the way up. You can take your block with you. Step to the top of your mat. Step out to the right again, a wider stance this time. Into warrior 2 with your right foot. You can take your block to the outside of your foot, either elbow to knee or hand to the outside of your foot. And you can take your left arm over your ear so you're describing a long, extended side body. from left fingertips to toes. Press into your left heel. Center your bottom right shoulder and push your right knee into your right arm. Look down, exhale, come all the way up. Switch sides, warrior two legs to your left. You might elbow to knee your hand, elbow, or left hand to the block. Big side angle here. Spin your top arm so your palm faces behind you. Press your left knee into your left arm. Center your bottom shoulder. Come all the way up. Turn all the way around to your right foot. Come onto a pivot on your back foot. Drop your knee. Lift your left arm up here. Take your left elbow across for a revolved prayer. You can also take your outer shoulder to the outside of your knee and create a T with your arms, or even take your right arm over your head like that extended side angle. Whichever variation you choose, you might tuck your back toes and lift your back knee off of the ground. Again, steer your hips so that your right hip comes deep into your right hip socket. Turning your hips slightly to the right. Unwind here. Plant your back foot on a wide angle, come up through the center, turn all the way around to your front foot, drop your right knee, right arm up, come across, elbow to the outside of the knee for a revolved prayer shape, or perhaps shoulder to the outside of the knee for one of those open arm variations. You can tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Think steering hips a little to your left to pull your left thigh bone back into its socket, back into the hip. Take a breath there and unwind, back foot on a wide angle, come all the way up and step to the top of your mat. Step out to the right again, hands to waist. Lift your chest forward, fold on your exhale. Hands to the ground, come up halfway. Walk your hands more back in line with your inner feet and aim your head for the ground. You can lift your shoulders a little here as you tip your pelvis forwards for 2, 3, pressing into your outer heels here, 4, 5, walk your hands forwards halfway, lift hands to your waist, squeeze your shoulder blades together, come on up. Relax your shoulders on your exhale. Inhale, stretch out through your arms. Exhale, hands back to your waist. Squeeze your elbows together here as you inhale. And exhale, slight bend in your knees as you come forwards and aim your head for the ground. Imagine you have a beach ball in between your elbows and you're holding it there, lightly squeezing it to broaden the front of your chest. Even weight in your toes and your heels for 4, your breath. For 5, press into your heels on your inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Inhale, reach out through your fingertips, arms wide. Exhale, take your hands behind you, interlock your hands, and open your chest. On your next exhale, bend your knees, fold forwards, and aim your arms up to the sky or back behind you. If your collarbones are shrinking towards your belly button, think about lengthening space between your belly button and your collarbones at the front of your top chest. Might tuck your chin a little bit here and aim your arms for the ground. Press into your heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your waist. Inhale, lift your spine. Look up. Exhale, slide your hands down your legs. Either take the outsides of your ankles, or you can pull on your big toes again with your peace fingers and pull a little bit your head towards the earth with the support of your upper body. to your breath. If elbows are falling back behind you, pull them in line with your shoulders. 4 and 5. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the floor here. Start to walk your feet a little wider. And maybe for some of you, you might take your elbows to the floor and shift a little forwards and back. You can go as low as you like here, maintaining a footprint of your feet into the floor. For 3, maybe you're trying to pull your legs together as if you're trying to create a wrinkle in your mat in between your feet. For 4. For 5. Let's walk back up onto our hands. Heel toe in a little bit. Turn all the way around to the back of your mat so that you come into a half splits. Back knee down, right toes up. You can fold over your right leg here, or feel free to slide it out. You can use a block under your right knee, under your right hip to explore Hanumanasana or the splits form. Wherever you're at, take one more breath and you can come up and pull that right hip back into its socket. Walk all the way around to your front foot. Half Hanuman with toes up. You can fold there, or you might choose to widen your knees apart. Widen your inner legs apart and untuck your back toes. Wherever you are, there might be a little side to side movement through your hips, forwards and back, for one more breath. Let's come on up from that, pulling our left hip back. Walk all the way around to that wide-legged forward fold. Exhale your hands to your waist. Inhale, come all the way up. And open your arms, flip your palms up, step to the top of your mat. Take your hands back behind you, hold forearms or elbows, or maybe a reverse prayer up your back. Take your right foot to the back of your mat and turn all the way around into a pyramid shape with your feet. Belly button faces back and forward fold over your right leg. If this is a bit precarious, you can always undo your hands. For 3, think collarbones and belly button away from each other. Think head and hips away from each other. Your low back long. For 5. Press into your back heel to come all the way up. Inhale. Turn all the way around to the front. Pyramid shape with your legs. And forward fold over your left leg. 1. Those long breath brush strokes along your spine. Each breath carving space, freedom through your torso. For 5, press into your back foot. Come all the way up. Turn to your right, flip your palms up, arms wide. Step to the top of your mat. Standing on your left foot, right knee up into your chest. You might stay there or hold your right toe or outer foot and come into your big toe shape. Both equal value options. You're also welcome to forward fold over your front leg if you're in this position using your abdomen. One more breath. Come up if you're down and take that leg or knee out to the side. You can look over your left shoulder to test your balance there and drop your right hip. Stay connected to the inner line of your left leg. Your standing leg. Leg to center. Bow over your leg if you like. Hands to your waist. Hold that leg up or that bent knee up in space. For 3. For 4, stand tall and proud. 4 or 5. Release that right leg, left knee in. Stand tall there, take your leg towards big toe. Maybe forward fold over that left leg. Shoulders wide. Your way up there. Long spine, leg or knee out to the side. You might look over your right shoulder. Reconnect with your breath. Maybe slow your breath down. Leg to center, and your gaze, bow if you like, over your leg or your knee. Hold your leg there in space. Stand strong and proud on your right leg. Stay connected to your inner right leg for one more breath. Release your left leg. Left leg stamps into the earth. Right ankle on top of left knee to a figure four or a half bound lotus if you like. You might turn towards your right and catch a bind. Turn back, front, and start to forward fold. So if you're in that figure four, you might hold onto your shin, aim your sit bones straight back. You might find your blocks as well and use your blocks as support for this forward fold, figure four, or half bound lotus, forward fold. Wherever you're at there, inhale, lengthen your spine like that halfway lift. Bend your standing leg and see if you can come up nice and steady. Messiness is welcome. Release your right leg, stamp your right foot to the floor, and find that on the other side. Figure four, left ankle on top of right knee, or turn left to catch that bind in half lotus. You can also release the bind in half lotus and have both hands to your blocks or the floor. Lots of options here. Wherever you're at with that, halfway lift, long spine, bend your standing leg and push to stand as steady as you can. Both feet plant. Inhale, arms up, forward, fold. Lengthen your spine. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward dog, long and strong. And tuck your chin downward, facing dog. Bend your knees. Find a tuck hop, maybe a little handstand tuck to land your toes lightly into chair. Do your best there. Take your arms up for your chair. Even weight in your toes and your heels. Back ribs lift and broaden. You can always have your arms apart here for 3, for 4, and for 5. Push to stand, forward, fold, hands down. You can take your knees on your upper arms and find a crow form. Maybe for some you press up into a handstand. Maybe you come back into a squat. You can also hop your feet back to plank, lower there. Strong abdomen to up dog. And back to down dog. Right foot forwards, back foot on an angle. Warrior one. Imagine that you are lengthening your deep left psoas here, so the whole side of your lower left spine, all the way to the top of your left thigh bone. Let the upper left spine ascend to the sky. And let the thigh bone descend towards pressing into your left heel. Stand tall, turn all the way around to your back foot, toe heel your back foot over to the left so you can find a comfortable warrior one stance over your left leg, facing the back of your mat. Again, find your deep right hip flexor. Right upper lower spine lifts up through your arms. Right lower hip flexor presses all the way down into your back heel, ascending your upper body and descending your lower body. Open to warrior two here. Sink as low as you like into your front knee. You might think about your left front knee moving towards the pinky toe side of your foot, strengthening your left outer hip. Find those long breath strokes, brush strokes of breath through your low spine and your core. Each breath creating space. Straightening your left leg, turning to your right leg, warrior two. Right leg, your right outer knee pushes back. Sink as low as you like. Finding those long strokes of breath through your spine and core. Then you can reverse your warrior here, windmill your hands to the floor, and step back through your flow. If you like, chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, step or hop through to a seat. Take your feet out forward, sit bones back. Hands plant by your hips, tuck your chin and lengthen your spine. Take a few breaths, fanning your toes wide. And then we'll shift forwards into a forward fold. So think pelvic tip forwards. You're always welcome to take a blanket underneath your seat. Come forwards as best you can. Some of you might hold your outer feet or hold a wrist outside of your feet, or be a little bit higher up. Each breath now lengthening your head away from your tail. Each exhale sinking your bones to the earth. So there's a little bit of doing, and that sinking is a little bit of being here in the form through your bones. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come a little further forwards in your forward fold. If you had a block, you could take the block to the feet, to your feet, and hold onto it. Reestablish length with your inhale, settling with your exhale. Come on up here. Your choice, you can leave this part out, cross your shins, inhale, lift. Exhale, back, chaturanga dandasana. Watching your form, long, low back, not too low with your hips. Upward dog, downward facing dog. Step or hop through. And come on through to take your hands behind you. You can aim your fingertips away from each other or towards your seat. That'll be a little more challenging. Lift up your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together a bit, and either come into a tabletop or aim the soles of your feet to the ground, and you might let your head come back. So a tabletop would be feet underneath your knees. Take a breath in here, breath out, and come on down. Cross opposite shin over and lift up. I think I said opposite. And go back to chaturanga dandasana. Upward dog here. Your downward facing dog. Come on through to a seat, however you do. Take your legs forwards. Right leg into Janu Shirshasana. Right sole of the foot towards your inner thigh. Aim your left sit bone back. Fold forwards over your left leg. Come back to your breath, connecting to how your breath might create space. Your breath has these dual qualities of invigorating with the inhale and settling with your exhale. One more breath. Come on up here. Let's sit and then place our right foot about a fifth distance away from our inner left leg into a half squat. Take your right knee about away from your torso and lean forwards, and then squeeze your right knee back into your torso, taking your right arm behind you, thumb facing down, internal rotation into your shoulder to see if your hands can find a bind behind you. If not, you can take your fingertips to the sides of your mat and press your shin and knee in towards each other as you lean forwards into Mrityasana A. Let's take a breath in here. Take a breath out. One more breath creates length, creates opportunity, creates possibility. One more exhale creates surrender, letting go, settling. Come on up, ground your right sit bone if it's come off, lean back and either hook your left hand around your knee or hook your elbow to the outside of your knee to find Marityasana C. If your right heel is close in towards your seat, you might be able to turn your thumb down, internally rotate your left arm, stand tall, take your right arm behind and find a bind. If you have a bind, widen through your collarbones and root down through your legs. The trick here is not to lean so far back. Wherever you're at there, one more breath spirals you around and then release to the front of your mat. Again, you can cross your shins if you like. Inhale, lift. Exhale back to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale to downward facing dog. A way to step through is to hop. Cross your shins in the air and land on the tops of your feet. Land your seat and swing your legs forwards. Left foot to your inner leg, right foot forwards. Pull your right sit bone back. Forward fold Janu Shirshasana. Reconnect to your breath. You might close your eyes. Finding length. Finding grounding. Come on up here and lean back. Take your left foot into that half squat. Keep your heel close to your seat, about a fist distance away. Knee away from torso. Lean forwards and wrap your armpit low on your left shin. Either take your fingertips to the floor or you can go thumb down, find your hands bound behind you. If your collarbones are really sinking, try to lift them towards your right toe. Left sit bone can come off of the floor here. Let's come up a little there. Ground your left sit bone and start to twist. Right arm can come across. Perhaps your right elbow can come across. For some, shoulder to the outside of the knee. Internal rotation. Stay strong on your seat there. And you might find a bind, pressing your legs to the earth. Wherever you're at, one more breath. Spiraling around. And undo that, turn to the front of your mat. Again, you can inhale, lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, long, low spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop through to a seat. Let's find Navasana. Your shins can be parallel, they can lift. Breathing one. You can also hang on here. Breathing two. Breathing three. Let's lower to Ardha Navasana, half Navasana. If you like, take your arms over your ears. Belly flat to the earth. Come on up. Navasana, 1, 2, 3. Let's lower down again. If you like, arms frame, biceps frame your skull. Belly flat to the earth. Navasana, one more time. 1. Beautiful. 2. And 3. Lower down to your half Navasana. Belly flattens to the earth. All the way up. Take the soles of your feet together and find Baddha Konasana. You can pull your heels in towards your groin. Use your elbows to gently encourage your knees out and down. And lean forwards any amount. You might also use your hands on your knees for 2. And you have the choice to open your feet up or press your feet together and notice if there's a difference of safety in your hips, either way. Come all the way up here and widen your feet out into Konasana, wide angle. Root your sit bones down and press your legs to the earth. Some of you might lean back and enjoy this variation for a few breaths. Some of you might cross your arms over your chest, lean a little forwards and test pressing your legs to the earth. Big toes point straight up. Come on up. You can again lean forwards, press your legs to earth, and lean a little left and right. Fortifying your legs and hips as you press down to support this degree through your torso. This degree of bend through your torso. Then if you like, you can let your hands, your forearms touch earth and melt a little more into that stretch. Some of you might take your outer legs or your big toes and fold forwards any amount. You might reconnect with your breath here. Let's come on up. Lean back and either bend your knees and hold your outer legs like Navasana but wide-legged, or you can hold your outer feet or your big toes, point your toes and look up, lifting your sternum. Look behind you and there's an option to roll back and take your legs over your head into a wide-legged plow. Take a breath there into the musculature of your back. And prepare to roll back up and try to balance. So you can roll back up to find your sit bones, kick out through your toes, look up, take a breath. And release your legs, let your legs find the floor, and one more time fold into that wide angle forward fold. Come on up, your choice, stay there in a seat or cross your shins, lift up and back, Chaturanga Dandasana, upward dog, your downward facing dog. Come on through to your knees. So your knees find the earth. If you have a thin mat, you might want to put a blanket underneath your knees or fold your mat over. Take your hands to your hips. Let your hips come a little forwards and then lift your low back ribs up in space, boosting your chest, letting your shoulder blades carve onto your back to lift your upper chest, and lean a little back into a supported camel. Then hips move back and ripple up through your spine. Exhale. Let's do that again. If it feels okay, hips forwards, lift your chest, arc your upper spine back. Maybe for some, you find an ankle, tuck toe ankle, maybe the other one, and you can press down into your hands to boost your chest. You might even let your head fall back a little there. Take a breath in. Maybe pulling your low abdomen back to your spine and up to boost your chest even further. Hips can go back a bit and press all the way up or use your hands on your low back. Sit back on your tucked toes for a breath in and a breath out. We'll come into that again, and some of you might choose to take the tops of your feet to the floor. So we'll go hands to hips, come up and back, lifting your low back ribs up. Maybe one hand at a time you find your ankles and then reestablish that press and length. You might let your head go back. To come out, you can support your hands on your hips or lean your hips back, push strongly into your shins to come up. And then sit back on your tops of your feet for a breath in and a breath out. Hands to the earth, step or hop back Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward dog here. Downward facing dog. Come all the way through to lie down on your back. Feet plant. Prepare to go up into a bridge, lifting your hips, lifting your chest away from your hips. You can roll your shoulders under you and take your 5 breaths in bridge. Your hands could be interlocked and pressing the backside of your arms down, or you might prefer to come up onto the top of your head and come into a wheel, engaging the backside of your body. Sit bones to backs of your knees. Belly long for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Tuck your chin, roll all the way down from your bridge, and draw your knees to chest. Wobble side to side. Roll back, roll all the way up to a forward fold. Walk your seat back, lengthen here and forward fold any amount. Slow down your breath. Come on up. Your choice. You might cycle through a vinyasa. Lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. And come through to a seat. You might choose to sit into a half lotus or a comfortable cross-legged position. If you like, you can unite your index finger and your thumb. Reach out your other 3 fingers. And perhaps close your eyes, tuck your chin. And take notice of your breath, your heartbeat. If it's feeling comfortable and safe to keep your awareness inside your body, let's practice Samariti breath, or equal length breath. Your 5 count in. Your 5 count out. Your 5 count in. Your 5 count out. In. Out. In. Out. In. out. Noticing here the touch of your fingers together if they're touching. Is it a grip or is it falling apart? And for a couple moments, can you find that just right amount of touch? Not too hard, not falling asleep. Right amount of tension through your whole body. Right amount of tension in your mind. Right response. And slowly letting your eyes open if they're closed. Lying back onto your back body and closing with a twist. Knees in. You can bring your hips a little to the left and let your knees fall to the right. Opening your arms if you like, looking over your left shoulder. And finding those long breath strokes through your spine, through your body. Each inhale an opportunity to open up space. Each exhale a chance to settle into your bones, into that non-doing and that pure being place. Place of grace. Knees to center, let's switch sides. Hips a little right, knees to the left. You can open up your arms. With your breath, finding that opportunity and that settling. And then coming into the center. And you might choose to have your feet wide, your knees falling in towards each other. Or outstretch your legs. Flip your palms up. And find your final resting form. You could close your eyes here. And you might contemplate settling your bones to the earth. Letting go of muscular tension anywhere you can. And falling into that place of non-doing, of pure being, and of grace. and you might choose to stay here for as long as you like, as long as you have time for.